How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another Honor of Kings video with your boy Blam. And this is a little bit of a shot to your system, guys, because it's not a farm lane hero. It's actually going to be a mid lane hero, none other than Daji. Daji has been one of these heroes I've always kind of like side-eyed because I've never really understood like why people pick her and how people play her. But after watching somebody in my community, Asmo, they play this hero very well. I thought, you know what? I'll give it a go. I'll see why everyone bans it. I'll see why everyone picks it in ranked. And to be honest, after you watch this video, you won't be wondering those things anymore. You'll be like, I need to main Daji. So stick around, guys, and watch this gameplay because this game was a banger. Ready, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the gameplay of this video. Once again, we do actually a game of a 5Q. So this was our first 5Q game of yesterday's stream. And we have, obviously, myself. We have Hamps. We have Bean on the Flowborn Marksman. We have Butterfly, Ray, one of the people from my community, and also Dow or Doe, or he goes by EOD on my stream into the top side with the Lubu. And our opponent's actually going to be the Byron. We have Motsu as well into the support role. I'm actually going up against the Xiao Chao, which I thought, oh, this is interesting. Obviously, we trade a lot of blows in the early part of the game, which when you're playing against Daji, that's really what you kind of want to go for, right? Is something like the Xiao Chao because it has the same kind of range potential like my first ability here, and this is the first point you want to really be taken away whilst using the Daji, is making sure you're using that first ability to get those clears of the minion wave so you can rotate around, try and take some of your jungle's farm, or if you're feeling confident enough and you have the intel on the enemy farm, but we didn't at that point in the game, obviously Arca, we didn't know where she was, so I didn't try and venture there because as soon as if I got hit by second skill of a Xiao Chao, I'd be done for if Ark was nearby, right? Like, she'd probably be level 4 before me, has all her skills up and refreshed, and probably would have taken me down. But another important thing is also, once you've obviously helped yourself to your jungles, camps, is making sure you get these rotations of these overextended bot side. Obviously, we do force the flash here. I do go in with my second skill, but Garo uses the flash once again. Beans actually managed to get the kill here. So still, it's not a disaster that I forced my flash. However, we did see that Motsu had the flash here as well. Here comes Ark trying to get the kill onto Hams. Manages to get the kill onto the Daji there, unfortunately. But overall, I mean, support for support at this point of the game is pretty good. We do have Ray come through as well with the rotation. I feel like it probably was at the best interest of Ray maybe not to go for that one. Maybe take my farm into the mid lane so she can get some more of the resources. As you can see here, that's gold that's been completely dissipated now, whereas if Ray actually rotated to the mid lane, she would be a little bit further ahead in terms of the gold to the enemy's Arc. So if you're a jungle, don't generally rotate down to the bot side if you see a team fight happening. If you see that there's been a conclusion or at least a decent trade, just kind of cleanse your mid lane's farm, because I'm not going to be bothered about that. I want you to be ahead. I want the jungle to have a better lead in the gold race. But as we can see here, I did a lot of rotating with Daji. I feel like you need to. She is more of an assassin mage rather than kind of like the support mage here. We did see that the Lubu has to use the Tremble Mortals defensively there. I do catch the Byron with the CC of my second skill. We're doing a lot of damage, but he's actually able to kind of soak a lot of that damage as well. So I don't think we're actually as successful into this top side of the map here to get a kill onto the Clash lane. So we back off for now. We don't really want to lose too many minion waves here. Again, Ray going for her Azure Golem should be rotating here and then getting this if I'm not in the lane, because again, it's just resources that gets wasted, guys. And if you're a jungle that wastes resources, you have more of a chance of the enemy team coming back and clapping you. But as you can see right now, global lead is around about 1.4k, 1.5 to ourselves, which is a very good lead. Again, I'm just kind of putting down to the, my mid lane, just getting a little bit of those GPM back into my stride, because obviously we missed a little bit there. Obviously, I'm 2.2k, whereas the enemy Xiao Chao is actually very equal here. There's the stun. I do get knocked up by the Xiao Chao. Goes in with the dash of the Motsu as well, connecting the Cannon Blast onto 2. Wasn't able to actually wipe anybody out. A good call there from Bean. He actually used the ultimate of the Flowborn just to create some range between himself and the team, but we just lost to the top side of the map, which is probably not the best thing here at all, especially as we go into the 4-minute mark. Literally a few seconds before the 4-minute mark, and we lose our jungle, we lose our Clash lane. As you can see, enemy jungler here is rotating around. Probably going to go for the Overlord. I feel like this is kind of a bad move anyway. Generally, rule of thumb, guys, if you're new to Honor of Kings, first neutral objective, you really want to be going for the Tyrant because it's extra damage, it's extra movement speed. What do you gain from movement speed? You get to rotate. Your laners get to rotate a lot faster to help their side lanes. So even if you're behind or ahead, you are just going to be able to up the ante. But also you get the extra damage. So if I'm doing damage right now, that's pretty shocking to the enemy team. It's only going to get worse, right? Like, I'm poking this Xiao Qiao from a very safe distance, and she's not hitting me. And that's a problem for her, because if we get the Tyrant here, which it looks like Ray is going to go for, I'm just going to do more damage. I'm going to be able to poke with the lightning effect that you also get from the Tyrant as well. So it's going to be troublesome. And that's the good thing about the Daji as well, right? Like, throwing out your first ability is good because the cooldown's so low. However, opposite end of the tail here is don't throw out your second skill willy-nilly, especially when the enemy team's got a assassin like Arca. As you can see, rotating here, you'll probably see me drop that second skill. There she is, stunned there. The idea on top, as soon as she commits onto one, we get her takedown as well. And I mean, it's going into our favor also. We're able to get the kill onto the Motsu. Xiao Qiao looking pretty low. That's a double kill there for Ray, which was pretty sick. And at the same time, that's what a 3-2 trade in our favor. And we're still maintaining that 1k gold lead. I feel like the thing that needs the most attention in this game is the Lu Bu going up against the Byron matchup here. Because Lu Bu only really activates when you build the Siege Breaker. That's when his damage starts to come through. So prior to that, Lu Bu in lane doesn't have the greatest laning phase, regardless of all the true damage he's able to get with his passive. Obviously, again, forcing the flash here, he's just not having the greatest time. I feel like Byron on the enemy team's probably like the best player that I noted at this point in the game. He was always trying to get me to bait out my second skill, as you'll see in the latter parts of the game. Always trying to get me to bait out my CC so the Arc can come through and then just be unstoppable. But you'll see in some scenarios where I wait patiently, I manage to get it off onto Arc, and then it's just devastating. Forcing the flash from the Byron here. Good point of call, so he's not going to be able to flash in, get the knock up onto any of our backline. Good piece of intel here. It's taken us a while to actually get this Tyrant. We do actually able to secure it. It looked a bit hairy, honestly. It looked a bit hairy. That could have gone either way. Luckily, though, I'm pretty sure Ray had the smite at that point in the game, though. But overall, so far, obviously, I haven't dropped to death. I've got 1 kill, 2 assists, and it's just all about that heavy rotation, guys. Clearing out your minion wave, get the heavy rotation. If your jungler's kind of being targeted, stick around with her so you can get the CC off. It means that that butterfly is going to be enabled to do a little bit more damage than she would without your crowd control, right? Like, if you got a target locked into place and then you got a butterfly on top of you, it's hard. There we go. Force my flash out of defensively because I thought that Xiao Qiao was actually going to flash in. But Ray commits, gets the kill onto Garo. That's a lot of damage being taken off to the side of the enemy team, which now puts us, again, steady 2k gold lead. It's now slowly amounting into our favor. Bean actually doing a really good job down to the bot side of the map. Just basically just dealing the damage, creating that pressure down there whilst we're kind of like duking it out like 4v4 into the mid lane. Which is another good thing, right? Like, if you've got pressure into one of your side lanes, and you see that the enemy team's got 4 into the mid lane, and you think, should I rotate? Don't rotate. Just keep putting that pressure on. Like, even if there's a Motsu in your lane, keep putting that pressure on. Try and get that T1 before the enemy team do, because it's just going to create a little bit more breathing room for yourself. Right here, we do see the enemy team actually able to take the T1 before us because we didn't quite just keep that pressure on. And the pressure from the Motsu alone and the damage from the Motsu alone is a problem for the Flowball Marksman, right? Flowball Marksman is very squishy anyway. So when you've got a Motsu here that's kind of building the magic pen and also probably going to build a lot more AP items, it's going to hurt such a squishy hero like the Flowball Marksman. But right now, we take it off the Garo as well off the board. Not a kill for me, just a general kill for the team. But we're able to get that T1 back as well. So a good response down to the bot side of the map. So the brief moment, the brief glimmer of hope that the enemy team had is now gone and is now been nullified. You can see that EOD has rotated down to the bot side as well onto the Lu Bu. He's just looking to create that pressure and maintain it for us. We're looking to just keep pushing this mid lane. We have no minions. It's a little bit of a waster there, using that Destiny counter, just kind of zoning out the enemy team because there's no minion wave coming through, right? Like, there's no real reason to use that Destiny counter other than just to kind of, like, force away the enemy team. But they weren't pushing, but that's down to the lack of intel that we had, so... I'm just trying to fight between these turrets, trying to get a cheeky pick off here. They were able to get the Overlord. Obviously, Vanguard's going to help secure here. Ray is actually playing very dangerous into the enemy jungle. Luckily, they don't have the intel on her. And she's coming from the back line here as well. Does get the knock up onto EOD, onto the Lubu, but there we go. Rotated in from the back line as a butterfly, and with not as much CC as we would like to have on an enemy team, it's not going to go well for you, but the idea does go in. We're able to get the kill onto the Byron there, so there's not going to be any flash in anytime soon. EOD into the thick of it. Bean as well, doing so much damage. The Heart Link saved him there, and then there we go. That first skill from me takes out the Garo, leaves the enemy team only with Motsu standing, which is not the best situation to be in, right? Like, yes, you've got Cannon Blast, you're able to create that distance, but he's not going to be able to put that pressure on across any lane, or at least kind of have a strong, fast wave clear that they were really expecting there. Whereas we still have Bean alive, we still have Diadea alive, and what's one good thing that Flowborn Marksman can do better than other marksmen is do such great damage to those turrets, so... Overall, good trade for us. Bit of a bad initiation, bad start to the team fight from the Butterfly. Coming in from the back line, tries to go for one on the back line and then dies. You've got to... You miss 100% of the shots you don't take right. So, I can't hate too bad. I can't hate too bad. Because it obviously did go in our favor there. Able to get the Shadow Tyrant as well. Another friendly reminder, if you are ahead, you may as well go for the Shadow Tyrant because it's just going to benefit you into team fights. Even if you are like 4k gold ahead, as you can see right now. And I'm just deleting this Xiao Qiao at this point. 415 KDA. Pretty crazy. EOD gets a little bit lost into the source here. He's trying to look for some healing. Destiny counter. I mean, this is a perfect pick off here for the Arca, but she just isn't doing enough damage. I mean... Let's have a look at her gold. So she's 6.9k to our 6.7. So she's actually ahead of our jungle. So she should be doing damage. But the fact that she's kind of splintered between two targets is not the great situation you want to be in when you're Arca. You're looking for those single target pickoffs. Preferably when you're Arc. But here I am just creating pressure down to the bot side of the map. Only died once just at this moment in time. You can see with the rotation down to the Crimson Golem, they were looking for a potential kind of like, hey, let's gather up here. Let's get the Crimson Golem. Let's make sure we secure it because we've opened the T1, guys. So another little friendly reminder for you. Once you open your enemy's T1, they're going to play their jungle a little bit more defensively. They're going to go for their buffs when and as fast as they can, because if they don't go for it, you're going to go for it because you've just opened up a clear line here as well, especially down to the bot side of the map. That's at more risk than the Azure Golem, but they're looking to take this back here as well. They do have the range of the Garo, so able to take the T1, so they do pay back and put a bit of pressure onto us here. Being into the team fight, trying to get the damage onto the Motsu, who's ironically called Nutella. Gets taken down. Garo tries to go with a retreat here, but now a little bit of a flash in from Bean. I don't think he was expecting all the team to be there, but we did collapse onto the back line. We do take out the Garo and the Arc once again. So he was right to flash in, but flashed in a little bit too early, I feel like there. There we go. Butterfly on top. Tremble Mortals actually been paired very nicely there. Byron's actually been able to escape that knock-up, but doesn't escape me, and that's going to be a team ace, which is, again, very troublesome for the enemy team because they weren't able to wipe out the minion wave before they died, which is something, if you know your team's going to lose a team fight, try your best to just get rid of that minion wave that you know that your enemy team's kind of circulating into that lane to try and get this push, try and get that kind of Trojan horse, as you just seen there. We're able to take the T2 and the T3 after an ace and a solid team fight just because that minion wave just wasn't contested. Which, when you look at it, obviously in hindsight and retrospect, it's a privilege to say that kind of thing. But in the heat of the moment, if you know you're going to die, and obviously the team fight took place around here, minion wave crashing here, rather than everybody climbing in here, somebody rotate, take them out, and then even if you die, you've then nullified that kind of push, that push potential for the enemy team, right? Because we wouldn't be able to push. We don't have the disrupt from the Lucian or anything like that. So we wouldn't be able to push their mid all the way in, and now they're poops pushed in. It's going to be very hard for him. Bean actually gets caught out there, which is a little bit of an overstatement, unfortunately, for our team. That's a lot of damage being taken up, but they still have me. They get the double kill onto the Lubu as well. So this is now Arc showing that she's like, oh, right, okay, so my strength is 1v1s. Rather than trying to splinter the damage between two of the enemy teams. But there we go, we get the stun, but I do die as well. So Arc actually started to pop off here. They're trying to get that ace that we got to them. But it's not working well for them. Hams with the Ray there. Beautiful double kill for the Butterfly. They could potentially get a triple kill here if they really want to. This should have been wave cleared before they even decide to run for this. Because look now, Garo, Byron's back. They're going to get dived on with a 2v3. And I mean, Garo with that range, Hams has that enhanced ability, goes in, unfortunately. And now they have a minion wave crashing in. I mean, yes, we're able to kind of mitigate it there. We have the Vanguard that's been dropped before Ray dies, which is a good thing as well. A bit of a saving grace from that bad play. But what they should have done is just backed off, not chased Arc, because they knew the enemy team had 2 people alive, and just cleared this out and just gone about their business. Gone about their business, get some more gold up. And our global gold would have been way more than 6k at this point. But 6k at the 15-minute mark is pretty great. I can't moan at my team. I cannot moan at my team. Because sometimes the enemy team think they get out of the range and they're actually safe, but they're not. They're not safe. They get hit by like the little precipice that it comes to the point, the pinnacle, the apex of that skill 1, and then they get taken down. We're just creating pressure into the bot side of the map to try and just open up the potential here of that Shadow Tyrant. I believe we don't have the primal buff here as well, debuff, so we're actually able to get that. We get the Tyrant. Arc's trying to go for a desperation push into the top side of the map, which I do appreciate here for the enemy team. But overall, she should have been here. I mean, does she have much kind of like purpose being into the Tyrant pit? Probably not, unless she's 100% sure she's going to get that steal. She's able to get out alive. My team now has to rotate to the top side, and now I rotate down to the bot side here. However, Lubu has to force a flash into the mid lane. So as clean as we played that mid game, that mid lane push here, the assault here, we've done nothing with it for a good 3 to 4 minutes, which is a problem here. This is where we start to see those pressure points fall off for your team when you're ahead, and the team's just kind of going around. They're getting resources. The Garo is at 10k. I'm at 11k. My marksman's at 11k here as well. I do go for the Splendor just in case Arca tries to go for a 1v1 on me. Phase check in the bushes. Another good use of her first skill. Flash in. Use the skill 2. We get the ultimate onto them and get a double kill as well, guys. That ultimate, that artillery, man, from the ultimate of the Daji is crazy. Because you just pop it and then you just let Destiny just do the rest of the point. But we have around about 20 seconds left on this fight, on this match. And with Garo, with the Mutsu down as well, they don't have that pressure from the long distance, right? Cannon Blast is not going to come through and stop us pushing. We get the minion wave down to the bot side. Bean just does what Bean does best onto the Flowball Marksman and just does so much damage. Down goes Byron, Arc, and Xiao Xiao is the only ones alive. Treble Mortar catches onto 2 as well. We use the first skill into it, then just annihilate with the artillery of that ultimate, and then the rest is history. So, if a farm lane main can play Daji, so can you guys. And you just need to follow those simple points that I made, right? Use your first skill to clear the wave in the early game. Use your first skill, not willy-nilly, but use it quite frequently because it only has like a 5-second cooldown anyway. Use it to phase check if you are unsure when you are rotating. If you think that there's a chance that the enemy jungle's within a brush, use your first skill. If you find them, use your second skill, use your ultimate. If they're a squishy enemy hero, they're dead with that combo. However, different story with your second skill. Use that sparingly, especially when the enemy team have assassins on their side. Because if they know that your skill 2's down, especially in a 5v5 match, like a pre-made match, sorry, they're going to know that intel. They're like, yo, skill 2's off onto the Daji, come in quick, and then that's it. That's when you get deleted. So you saw within that game, I used it sparingly, unless we were pushing ahead, and I was just looking for basically the pick off of the backline when they were within range. Use it, first skill, ultimate, dead. And as you can see here, 9 to 10, 13k damage, 13k gold lead here. In terms of metric, I did 28% of the overall enemy damage as well, being quite close by as well as the Butterfly. So to actually be the top damage within the team shows you how great the burst potential here is of Daji. So if you're used to playing farm lane, I feel like this is kind of like the natural transition into the mid lane because of the similarities. As you can see here, team fights for potential. I was always 65, so I was always rotating around as well. As you can see, gold, farming, last hits, monster gold, battle record, team, all that goodness. And as you can see here, the team only managed to get the overlords. But think about that. Think about the point I made earlier, guys. Always go for Tyrant first. And if you try and dispute that, this team went for Overlord as a constellation prize and still lost because we were always ahead in terms of gold, always ahead in terms of the damage. So that's my video on Daji, guys. Let me know what you think on how I played Daji. If you ever played Daji, are you now convinced that you are a farm lane main that's going to make it into the mid lane main and go and main Daji? Let me know in the comment section below, guys, if you've enjoyed this video. As always, see you on the gorge and see you on the next video.